to 2024, the Gregorian calendar year. So happy new year. And as I always say, each year I do this video, the true new year is at the spring equinox. That is Mother Nature's new year, not in the middle of winter, but yet and still happy 2024, and welcome to all of those that made it out of 2023. I hope that you had a wonderful season, and I hope that you are getting your mindset ready for this number 8 energy. I was attempting to do this live stream earlier in the day, but it was a lot of action and movement going on with my family, lots of copyright music playing in the background, loud talking and laughing. So I'm just now getting a quiet time to where I can come on here and share this information with you. A lot of this you may understand by now, but I always like to put my own little spin on it. So with that being said, this is going to be a year of a lot of movement, a lot of both strategic movement on the positive side and reckless movement on the negative side. So just like the Jeffersons say, we're moving on up. A lot of people will be moving on up and some will be stepping on down. A lot of people will be shifting over, but either way, there is a lot of movement. So we are in the number 8 energy, which is a cyclical energy, like the infinity symbol, which is when you think about the 4 year, when you put 4 and 4 together, that makes 8. So a lot of things that were held up and stagnant during 2020, during the universal 4 year, a lot of the things that you were planting at that time, a lot of seeds that you planted in 2020, and a lot of things you prayed for and hoped for, this is the year of harvest to where it can come to fruition. So this is a year of motion, promotion, and the year of reaping. This is a harvest-based year. This is also a year where you will learn to budget your energy more, because the number 7 year was all about introspection, study, going within. Depending on what your personal year number is, it may differ from that. But the universal principle of last year was about studying a lot and going within. And I know that the number 7 energy affected me tremendously last year in both positive and negative ways, because it was a 7 personal year for me last year. But yet and still, let's get into the information. As I say, each year, I've been doing this since 2016, starting with the number 9 personal year. I've never skipped a year, no matter how long that I've been away from YouTube. I cannot let the sun go down on January 1st without doing the numerological analysis video. So as I always say, each year, a lot of this stuff happens every year, every day, all the time. So it's not that it doesn't always happen each year, but it will be the theme. It will be amplified in this particular year. So it's just certain things to keep in mind. A positive energy in general, if you make certain choices towards your highest good. Now, some of this may or may not resonate, because it also depends on what your personal year is, and even on down to what astrological dasha you are in. That's a Vedic astrology term that deals with the era of your life based on a planetary principle ruling your life for a period of years. All of that will make a difference how this universal number 8 energy will affect you. But it is supposed to be a year in general of prosperity and harvest, but it will take effort to get it. If you don't dig for it, you won't get it. If you don't get up and go pick the apple off the tree, you won't get it. So it will take some effort. It will take some elbow work and picking, and then the harvest will be easy. So it won't be that your dreams, goals, and aspirations are difficult to attain this year. It's just a matter of, do you trust yourself enough to believe that you can get it? If so, it is yours for the taking if it is meant for you at that particular time. And as this is a year of reaping, it is a year of increase. So a lot of people say, oh, yay, increase. So on the positive side, it is a year of increase, either in your finances, your family, all of those things for us. But on the negative side, it can be a year of increase of things that have concerned you and worried you as well. So it will differ from person to person. So I'm going to get into the notes. I'm going to work from my notes so that I make sure I don't forget anything. And we're going to talk more about this. Also, a lot of mass things that you hear on the news, and I'm not Nostradamus by any means, but a lot of things that you hear on the news, which I like to warn you about, will be based on crowds. A lot of stuff based on crowds and things moving quickly. So you have to be careful, because number 8 is a year of movement and motion and promotion going up. I would advise people, especially if you watch the news, which I try not to watch, a lot of disasters, and I don't want to start off with disasters, but let's get the scary stuff out the way. A lot of disasters that you will hear about possibly this year will be either through faulty aircraft, like things falling swiftly, or maybe a big name person dealing with something with a crash. So be careful of speeding and high velocity, because moving too quickly could cause recklessness this year, because 8 is a number of power and impact. So if you're going too fast, it can have that platonic, and I did not say platonic like a friendship, but plutonic effect if you do not take your time with what you were doing. Also, things of hearing about people falling from heights or avalanches. You may hear about avalanches like rocks crumbling and things like that. So a lot of things, a lot of natural disasters this year, whereas last year was more watery, like the floods in California. A lot of it will deal with like rocks crumbling down from the top, things falling from buildings or things like that, people jumping and all of that type of stuff. You may hear about more this particular year. Also, rapid, reckless movement of, like, once again, being in crowds, being in the wrong place at the wrong time, like gunshots in a crowd, or also people getting jumped by not just one person, but multiple people. So bunch of people coming at a person at the same time, or crowds rushing and running over each other, that type of thing. So let's hope that doesn't happen. That's just a warning so that we can do our best to prevent those things from happening. But even last night, we were talking about this today. There was a guy outside riding on his horse, minding his business on a trail ride, and somebody was shooting a New Year's gun, you know, the pop gun, whatever it is. The person was shooting a gun, celebrating New Year's, and hit the guy on the trail ride, riding his horse, minding his business. So out of nowhere, here comes this swift movement that impacted his life. So you want to be careful of those type of things. Also, we were discussing that somebody else was shooting a New Year's gun, and these people, a family was at home minding their business. Their son got injured by the bullet just inside their house. It some way, somehow, it made it in the house. So rapid things coming from high and coming from the side and nowhere. You want to be careful of certain things like that, even though that family had no control of what was going on. But that's what you would hear a lot of this year. So take care of yourself, do your cleansings and things like that. I have the meat cleansing that I talked about way back in 2020, how to clean yourself. So you can go back and look at that video in my in my playlist, and check that out. But otherwise, let's get to the good stuff, because it's supposed to be a good year in general. Once again, it's a year of promotion, where the old heads might be stepping down this particular year. The new heads get promoted based on the hard work done within the last 7 years. And this is a year of reaping what we have sown, both the good and bad. 8 is also, to a certain degree, it has that Saturnian energy, to where what we have put out returns this year. Also, you will find a lot of things that you have lost in the last 7 years, or a lot of people that left, they may return back this year. And not just necessarily during a planetary retrograde, but they may return for either a season or to complete something. If they come back, that means there's unfinished business to complete. It may be coming back just for closure, but those that are coming back before the number 9 year next year to complete what they have started in your life. So they may not be back permanently necessarily, but a lot of people and a lot of things will return. Lost articles could be found for you this year. So just keep that particular energy in mind. Once again, it's a year of reaping what we have sown in the last 7 years. This, once again, the year of increase. So increase can mean increase in body weight, whatever it is. If you have health issues, If you choose to not take action and not put effort into maintaining your health, if you ignore certain things, and it can increase the health issues, it can increase cells, you know, deteriorating and things like that. So you want to stay on top of that this year, because you don't want to increase the bad stuff. You want to increase the good things in your life. A lot of money is coming for a lot of people. But the thing is, a lot of expenses can come this year as well. So as your money goes up, some of the prices may go up. So you will be able to meet your needs. You will be able to afford what it is, but the price may go up to where you feel like it didn't make a difference. Or if the money comes in quickly, it can leave out quickly too. So you want to have some sort of strategic plan of action in order to manage, your input and output and live within your means. Even though God knows I'm not a financial advisor, you want to live within your means and have strategy with the money that's coming in this particular year. But once again, it's yours for the taking if effort is applied and you are reaping a harvest of what you have sown. Also, there will be a lot of promotion of addiction, because this year can deal with where all this material stuff can come into your life this particular year. It may be so to where we're so focused on material that it's a distraction from what's really bothering us on the emotional level. Because even though this can be a great year materially, emotionally, issues with what mom didn't do, what dad didn't do, this person that left, it has a big connotation of dealing with abandonment issues, break up to make up. That's going to be a lot of people, even celebrities that you hear, if you follow celebrities business like that, those people who saying they're getting ready to divorce or they're getting ready to break up, they could find themselves right back together, because this is a year of reconciliation. So a lot of people are going to be coming in and out of your life this particular year, kind of like the Eight of Cups energy, to where they'll be back like a revolving door. So if you think that the marriage is over or something like that, it may not permanently be over. There could still be some karmic unfinished business with that person. And even if you all do not reconcile and do not get back together, there's going to come a time of reckoning where the cycle needs to be completed. You can do it in this life or the next, but there's going to still be the people that you have unfinished business with. A lot of that's going to be pending, and there could be anxiety at the core to you. You don't even realize what it's about, and a lot of that is due to unfinished business with people in your soul group, whether it's friendships, to where it didn't get the proper closure, old relationships, something that you wanted to say to your mother or your father or sibling. A lot of that's gonna come up even more so this year on the emotional front. So while you may get what you want materially, make sure you are taking care of your emotional and mental psychological wellness, because a lot of things can cycle in and out. A lot also, as things recover, good things that left and good people that left and they can come back. The things that you got rid of and you thought it wasn't a problem anymore can come back depending on your choices. So be very, very careful, because everything that left, you don't want it to come back, right? So just keep that particular thing in mind. So once again, distractions, there'll be a lot of people partaking in distractions in order to avoid facing emotional dissatisfactions. There could be a lot of good movies, cinema, good Netflix shows, documentaries that come out this year that's been held up since 2020. So a lot of stuff is just going to come at you really fast. You're like, dang, this is a good movie, that's a good movie, this is a good song, that's a good song. So it's going to be a lot of good artistic expression happening this year. A lot of things to, once again, take our mind off of other stuff going on in our personal lives. Maybe a lot of good content coming from different creators and different things. It'll be a lot to talk about this year, because we are getting ready to come into a culmination, preparing for the 9-year next year, because as a collective consciousness for the past 7-8 years of our life, we're getting ready to go into a new cycle after the number 9 year. So it'll be a lot to talk about. A lot of things that have been held up in manifestation since 2016, you're going to see a lot of that happen and bloom this year. Once again, reconciliation. But with those reconciliations with spouses who are separated and couples or whatnot, they may not be coming back together because it's love still there, of either on one side or the other. They can often be coming back together because of money issues. Like, it's just cheaper to stay in the marriage or the relationship. Because with some of you all, if you break off your marriage or your relationship this year, you may find that it does something to the finances spiritually. Like it feels like even if you were the one taking care of everything and that person wasn't doing anything, and I'm not supporting that type of stuff or whatnot. But all I'm saying is I'm only speaking spiritually. It's not my business. But what I'm saying spiritually is you may find that it's like, okay, now that you're away from this person, energetically, you may find that it affects your money if it was a relationship that was meant to be. So I'm not saying stay with somebody that's abusing you or misusing you, but if it's something where you're just having a rough patch, or the thrill is gone right now, or you're a little bored, you want to be careful. You want to think carefully before breaking that off this particular year. And it's not, once again, this is not my opinion. I'm only talking about energy this year, because some people, hold on, because some couples, the money and the finances the prosperity will happen quicker if they stay together longer. For some people, once again, it's just not a wise choice to leave just yet, or to leave this year. This is not the best year to end it. 9-year, next year, if you want to go off and do your own thing and do you, that energy will be a little better to do that. Because once again, 8 is a Saturnian energy. 8 is restriction. Just kind of like the 8 of Swords in Tarot. So some of you may be feeling stuck in a job, a marriage, relationship, or a situation due to finances, or feeling like you don't have that many options. That means if you're not in a situation where it's abusive or anything like that, you may need to stay and finish your business with that person. Finish the karmic energy, burn it off, let it complete, and that way prosperity stays. So think twice before stepping out just because you want to. So with people feeling stuck in their relationships, of course, just like every year, there may be a lot of affairs and illicitness going on behind the scenes. Once again, I talked about promotion of addiction and escapism to escape problems at home in the forefront. Let's see. There could be anxieties due to feeling that restrictive energy, like staying for the prosperity and things such as that. Or staying in a job because it pays good, but it really doesn't fulfill you emotionally. All of that can be going on. So it's that out of, what is it? What is it? Out my feelings and into this money. That's the type of year it is, this particular year. I be getting to the money, that type of thing. To leave a union recklessly would cause a disruption and a stream of bad decisions to the one that decides to leave without a strategic plan of action. I'll say that again. If you decide to leave a marriage or a situation or a job in a reckless way, like I just don't, the effort, and then you have no B plan going on, no contingency plan, and you just say, forget it, I'm not going to do this anymore. If you leave recklessly, it could cause a disruption and also a domino effect of bad decisions. One bad decision after another. Remember, this is a year of increase. So it can be an increase of bad decisions because you leave this thing recklessly. So one bad turn will equal another bad turn and another bad turn. So be very careful of leaving things, situations, and contracts in a reckless way. If you are going to leave, if the cycle is complete and finished, make sure you leave with in a proper way. Make sure it's closed. Don't leave any questions in the person's mind or the people's mind. Let them know, give them your 2-week notice. Get that person to know that you are almost out. Your foot is out the door. But just up and leaving and abandoning things, those that abandon things, it could have reckless repercussions this particular year. Because with Saturn things last long. It's like a methodical sort of energy. Saturn takes time, whereas a planet like Uranus or Pluto, it's just like all of a sudden, just unexpected change. But with this particular energy, you need to let people know before you make your move so that they can prepare and have their stuff ready for you to do what you need to do for yourself. Unless you're in danger, of course. I'm not saying like with the Ike and Tina Turner situation, how she just tried to up and sneak out. If you have to do what you have to do for your safety and your children's safety, that's another thing. But I'm only talking about safe situations. So leave with a strategic plan of action in a proper way. Unresolved emotions and unfinished business with those that you are disconnected from could be coming up once again. Also, with money going up, prices will go up, and people will charge what they're worth, but make sure that you're charging fairly. So those of you who are selling services, products, and goods, make sure you are charging fairly, because if you try to go up on your price too much, you're going to lose a lot of people, because you're going to have a lot of competitors this year that will charge a more fair price than you, and people will go in a different direction. So you may hit that lick that one time, and then you never see those people again, because they know they can get a better deal somewhere else. So charge fairly, charge what you're worth, but charge fairly this year, please. There could be, with people feeling restricted in certain relationships, marriages, and situations, that often breeds secrets. And also, a lot of people could be hoarding money and material goods, preparing to leave at a better time. All that going on. So you may want to check and make sure no money being hidden somewhere behind your back and all that good sort of stuff. Let's see. I want to make sure I'm not repeating myself, because a lot of this I've just said off the top of my head. There could be power struggles in business over money this year. Arguments between spouses could be based on money issues this particular year, or emotional issues. The year of meeting your match. So if you're a bully, you're going to meet your bully this year. If you are a decent person, you can meet that decent person this year. If you are a person that takes advantage of people, you may find that. Because remember, this is a year reaping this year. So you're going to meet your match this year. So be very, very careful. Be careful who you underestimate. And that's all I have in general for this number 8 energy. Once again, I do apologize that I was so absent in 2023. I spent a lot of time studying deeply, studying, principles of Ifa, of studying deeper into astrology. So, coming up with way more information than I even had 2 years ago. So I learned a lot, and I look forward, creator willing, to sharing a lot of that with you all. And I hope that you're having a happy, wonderful new day, new year. And I will see you all soon, hopefully. And I guess we'll talk more when the energy unfolds, because we're going into the year of the dragon next month in February. I'm not sure what date it is. So we're going into the dragon energy. We're coming out of the rabbit energy into the dragon energy, the wood dragon. And then you will feel this number 8 energy bloom even more around the spring equinox, March 21st. So we may talk deeper about that during that time. All right. Good night. I was not going to let midnight hit into January 2nd without me doing this. So I kept my word. I have not missed a year on January 1st doing this. So I was not going to miss it this year. Okay, so despite all that was going on, I made it. All right. I love y'all. Good night.